This program contains crazy material, including offensive language. Listening discretion is advised. Welcome to a VO's Padded Room podcast. So put on your straitjackets and join Big Jim and Brad Storm as they probe inside the mind of a new guest each week. So strap up and let's do this.
The voice is one hell of an instrument, and our guest this week on a VO's Padded Room podcast has explored all realms of this powerful tool. Our guest was inspired by 90s grunge bands and would hit the road singing for various rock, punk, and metal bands. An understudy of her dad in the areas of audio engineering, our guest would eventually turn her vocal prowess to, you guessed it, voiceover, and has worked for the likes of Kevin's Foods, Planned Parenthood, Seacode, and Play and Go, to name a few. The future looks bright for this rising star, as she is now represented by DDO Artists and is looking to rock out in the gaming and animation world. It's time to get strapped in the padded room, because voiceover rock star Brianna Wanlass, you are locked in and mic'd up. Yeah! Oh, yeah.
That was amazing.
Again.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. This show is great. Thank you for having me.
Again, take two.
We're saying again, everybody, because like a dumbass, I forgot to hit record again. This is the second time in Padded Room history, guys.
That's exactly what all of us do. Anyway, I forget to hit record all the time.
Jim, don't talk bad about yourself. You're not a dumbass.
Me, myself, and I argue all the time, man.
You're part of the Voltron.
You're part of the Matrix.
Yeah, the Matrix. Tap into the Matrix, Jim.
It ain't real.
Take both pills.
Oh, Brianna, it's awesome having you on board. I've been wanting to have you on this show for quite some time, and Jim has as well. But we're going to go back in time like we always do, and we're going to go to the 1979. Now, why don't you talk about what happened, that glorious event that happened in 1979?
I was born in Richmond, California. Amen.
Grab your Bibles, people. Grab your Bibles and sit down.
I don't have to go to church now.
I love you.
Oh, yeah, Brother Love.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Love. We'll talk about wrestling in a second.
Actually, when you said that, Brianna, that brought my wife and I were watching the Tammy Faye movie, and she would always say that, and God loves you, and I love you too, or something like that. That's what it reminded me of.
Oh, God bless everyone.
Rebuke him. Rebuke him.
I did not have sexual relations with those women.
I did not do it.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
My entrance onto this earth.
Oh, yeah.
It was in February of 79.
Yeah, my little brother was born July that year.
A good year, which I'm so grateful to be a child of the 70s, technically.
You barely made it.
So I have taste. I have taste in everything.
The best music came out in the early 80s, right?
Yeah, the 70s and the 80s is like my favorite music. And the 90s, we'll talk about that. Yeah, lived in California for most of my life and then moved to New York in 2009.
So why don't you talk about some of the experiences growing up, like maybe possibly some of the experiences where you saw a microphone or you loved, singing in front of your mirror or something like that. I don't know. How did it all come about?
Oh, well, yeah, just being a kid in front of a TV and enjoying MTV and listening to music and singers and, just being a consumer of all things vocal, including commercials and animation and cartoons I would watch. It was all like, just hypnotizing. I sat in front of that TV, baby. So I absorbed a lot of that world, the audio world, the vocal world.
That was our babysitter.
Yeah.
The TV.
It was our babysitter.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for the longest time, I had no idea that my dad knew how to play guitar and was in a band when he was young. I found out when I was like 13.
Whoa.
A neighbor had come over with this little kid came over with an acoustic guitar, and I was like, 13 years old, and my dad picked it up all of a sudden. I'm like, "What?" And he starts playing it, and I'm like, "You what? You didn't tell me you played guitar?"
He was just started rocking.
And then all of a sudden, it's like he's showing me how to play an E, and he's helping me buy an amp and my first electric guitar, and he's challenging me to learn the whole song Stairway to Heaven, and if I play it in front of him, he'll buy me a new amp, and
Nice.
he's like bribing me.
Yes.
And then I discover he retired a few years ago. He's been his whole life pretty much an electric and audio engineer guy. He worked at Stanford working on these really high-tech laser machines that treat cancer patients that would break down all the time, and he
wow.
would get called to run down there and fix them while someone was being worked on. It was crazy. And he's considered like one of the best at what he did in the world. So he's retired now, and now he just works on these fun little projects. Like now he's designing a really like awesome DAC, digital audio converter,
Okay.
that he's him and his friend comes over and they work on it together, and they're both claiming like this is going to be the best in the world.
That's
I'm
awesome.
like, okay, it better be. And I digress. Yeah, so he showed me how he could play guitar. I got super curious about it, and that was around the time that I was watching, like I said, MTV, and just really starting to feel my emotions as a young teenager, and paying attention to what the lyrics were saying in music at that time. Like now I'm listening to these songs, really listening.
Yeah, because back then music told a story. It actually, instead of
Yeah.
hey, hold this, here's my money, this, here's my money, that. It's it told a story.
Yeah.
Well, sure. I mean, practically every rock song is like a love song of some sort. But like grunge music, which I was about to dive into, grunge did something different. It had to do with like feeling like anger, and it's not like metal or that kind of thing. It's like just exploring the emotions of your own trauma. And like when the song
Yeah.
Jeremy came out, Pearl Jam's Jeremy, and I watched the video, it made me I remember feeling chills on the goosebumps on my arms.
Like hormonal
Just
teens.
being like, wow, yeah, suicide, that's a real thing. And sometimes I get really sad and getting confronted with those feelings. And then that kind of, going through my brain, discovering music around the same time, I was like, wow, I think I want to write a cool grunge song. And that kind of got me, going like, okay, my dad, he has no problem with me learning how to play guitar. Great. So I'm going to teach myself. I still don't know how to like read sheet music or anything, but I trained myself to listen. Oh, that's right. Oh, that doesn't sound right. This sounds right. Started writing my own lyrics,
Hey, folks, I'll tell you this, Brianna, if you haven't heard her play, go to her YouTube channel, and she'll tell you all about it at the end there. And she is rocking that guitar like it's crazy good.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
Thanks.
I was like, yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, we my dad's also, like I said, an audio engineer. So when I started when I had my first band, he was helping us record, and I started learning about mics and recording, and yeah.
And it's not a video where you can fluff it up. It's actually live, and I mean you're just jamming. I was happy that I could play Happy
Thanks.
Birthday on the acoustic, and that's about it.
Thank you.
One thing about music, I bought an acoustic guitar about like 2-3 years ago. And I always, I had a guitar as a kid. I had about 10, 11 years old. I had an electric guitar. And I had an amp and everything. And the crazy thing is, my brother still had it. So he dropped it off at my house like 3 weeks ago.
Awesome.
So now I got my acoustic. I got my electric guitar from when I was like 10. And the amp still works.
Nice.
And
that's
and
great.
we talked about anxiety. I mean, I play my guitar when I feel anxious.
Oh, it helps,
It focuses my mind.
You just get into, my dad likes to call it the state of play. Whether it's music or whether it's something like recording voiceover and auditioning and having fun, that's called the state of play, where you're just enjoying what you're doing and you get out of your head.
And the booth is a place that I
This
escape.
podcast was kind of born out of that concept of, just having fun, getting in a little, session here and having a good time. And still learning about the great industry of voiceover.
Yeah. Oh, it's so cool. I love this show so much, you guys. And
Thank you.
And I'm just so happy to be here. And I just wanted to bring up, I was just listening to, I think, episode 29 with D. Alvis. And I just loved that episode because you guys talked about wrestling and Dark Side of the Ring, which is a great show. Just wow.
Yeah, we love Dark Side of the Ring. It's a very depressing show.
It is. And
you like wrestling?
oh, I love wrestling.
Yes.
I grew up on it.
Who's your favorite wrestler? Who's your favorite
It's
wrestler?
definitely got to be fucking Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah. When
From
he
the heavens above.
Yeah, exactly. The crazy, his energy and shaking the fucking rope and the crazy shit he would say while he was being, interviewed with Mean Gene.
Yeah.
The gods above are telling me what to do. And my brothers and my dad and I would watch that show like it was the holiest show ever, bowing down to it.
Yeah. I remember when the Ultimate Warrior was taking on Hulk Hogan for the belt.
Yep.
And, I was a Hulk Hogan kid. I grew up watching Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage. They were some of my favorites. But I love the Road Warriors. I always liked the Road Warriors. The one-man gang. I always liked big dudes, like the big ones.
Yeah.
Hercules, Warlord, all those guys.
Oh, my God.
Don
Oh, my
Morocco
God.
was another one.
Yeah.
So
Andre the Giant.
And
Andre
the
the
ultimate one,
Giant.
Andre the Giant.
Mm-hmm.
When he
my
passed
God.
away in 1994, I was a senior in high school.
Oh.
And I was just
I
like,
was senior too, yeah.
I was like, man, wow, these wrestlers, they die too. I
They died too.
Yeah.
And, what a great time for kids to watch wrestling. Just before it got a little too bloody.
Well, before Ultimate Fighting came along.
Yeah, I stopped watching it around that time. But before that, it was just all about the good guys versus the bad guys. Just fun and kind of silly.
We have a beef.
And we're, and it's just it's so, I think, I recall when I was a kid watching it with my brothers that we knew it was kind of fake. We knew it. It was we would ask our dad, this isn't real, right? Or is this real?
He plays guitar.
But it didn't matter. We knew it was just inspiring us to, mimic the moves and put each other in headlocks.
Yeah.
And I have a little story about that because we would have fun like that all the time. And while we were watching WCW, sometimes we would watch the Steiner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
The Steiner Brothers, and they had that move called the Frankensteiner.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And the Frankensteiner was this really complicated move where the guy would run up to the other person, but jump in the air, throw their legs over their shoulders, and then lean back using their body weight to flip that person over.
Yep.
So one day after we saw the move on TV, I look over at my brother and I say, you can't, he's 5 years younger than me. I'm 11. He's 6. I'm like, you can't do that move on me. That's something, it was that. I challenged him and he's like, yeah, I can. And he backs up a bit and he starts running and then everything became slow motion. And his legs started running up my body. They go over my shoulder. And before I know it, I was flipped over. It happened.
Oh, that's awesome. You got Steinerized.
It was real. And my brother jumped up and screamed like a demon. Ah, I did it to my sister. So that's a happy memory.
And meanwhile, you got a big lump on your head.
A knot in the emergency room. And
I didn't get hurt. It was so weird. I was still young enough that I just bounced out of it.
Yeah, I like it. You sold it. You got to sell those moves.
Yeah.
You got to sell
You got to lean into it.
You got to go, oh,
it's
my God, that hurts.
just let it happen. Get loose.
I have to vouch for wrestling. I've been around wrestling for a long time. And even though the outcomes are pretty much told in the back room, it is real. It hurts. I've been power bombed by 6'4" guys. I've been hit with belts. I've been hit with chairs. I've been thrown through tables.
Damn.
And that all hurts.
Are you okay?
So, yeah, it all. Oh yeah, I'm okay now. Yeah, that was a lot younger. I was a lot younger back then.
Yeah, if I don't put the toilet seat down, my wife does that to me. Wait, what? I got to hold that sign up that says "Help me."
Here comes the elbow off the top.
I was also a fan of Glow Girls. Tell me you guys watched that.
With the gorgeous ladies of
dude.
wrestling. We come from the streets. We come from the city. Come from the world that is no pity.
Oh, my God.
Hollywood and Vine.
Oh, my God. Big Bad Mama. Wow.
Big Bad Mama.
Mount Fiji.
Mountain Fuji.
Oh, my God. So good. Matilda Hun. Lightning.
Yeah. Who was the crazy lady from the psych ward?
Oh, God. I loved her. She was my favorite. I don't even remember her name. God. So good.
The farmer's daughter.
The farmer's daughter. That show, man. Oh, it just warms
Did you
my
see
heart.
Hollywood break her arm in the ring?
I've seen footage of that, yeah.
And they showed it over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm like, oh my God, this is disgusting. But I like it.
But I like
I was in 7th grade,
Yeah.
I think.
She reacted to it pretty calmly. I recall she just got up and went, oh, shit. It's broken.
And, in the show that came out on Netflix, I really enjoyed it. But
I didn't get to see it
yeah,
yet.
it's pretty good. I think they had 3 seasons, but it didn't make it. It didn't make the cut during, I guess, COVID.
Oh.
But it was a really good show, and it kind of depicted how everything ran back then and how much of a cluster it was to be a part of the show. Because there's always drama, right?
Yeah, I bet.
Have you seen the new reality show with the wrestling? It's called, I forget what it's called, but there's another one on Showtime.
No, not yet. Ooh,
I forget what it's called. I'll have to tell you
show.
later. I'm bad.
Yeah.
I'm getting older, so my noggin's not as good. Let's talk about rock before we get to this game show.
Yeah.
Now, what was your first band's name?
I want to rock.
Okay, we were called Atomic Mint.
Atomic Mint.
Yeah. And it was
Awesome.
kind of we were a little eclectic in the sense of we were kind of grunge, but also poppy, funky too. Like we did
Okay.
it all. And it
Little bit
was
of
like my
mix.
first band. So all of us were just playing too much all the time, pretty much.
How was practice?
Oh, well, I mean, practice was, 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And we went for it. We tried to become rock stars. When I think about that band, the memories are we tried to become rock stars. We really tried. We tried touring. We recorded 3 albums.
Battle of the Bands?
We got into fights all the time. There was a lot of parties. There was
Do the drinking part of it, the fighting.
Yeah.
the fighting. I almost married the drummer and I backed out at the last second, thank God.
He couldn't keep time, so you left.
Nice.
Things changed. Anyway, yeah, so that was my first band. And then I was in a band I really loved called the Kamikazes, which was
nice.
very punky metal. I was just the singer. I didn't play guitar, but I loved that band. And then when we moved to New York, I joined the Giraffes, which is an East Coast based it's definitely a punk metal surf band. And
They
I sang
had their
with
heads
them
in the
for
clouds. Just kidding.
So, yeah, those guys partied, so sometimes it felt like it.
That was a stupid ass reference. I'm sorry. That was dumb as shit. My bad. Keep going.
And then
Stop beating yourself up, Jim. Stop it.
I'm not dumb. That was dumb as shit.
This is the place to do it, Brad.
Yeah, exactly. This is the platform to do it.
And then my last band that I was in was a 3-piece with my 2 good girlfriends.
Okay.
Zombie Pussy.
Oh, nice. Lovely.
You like that? And that was metal punk.
That's sexy.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's
sing
something.
us a verse off of one of the Metal Pussy songs.
Okay.
Or Zombie Pussy.
This one's called. This is the first line in Demon Warrior.
Mm.
Okay.
I say, demon, raise my misty veil and see. Retreat, take rise, as in the glacier, breath in the wings of the soul.
I just shit my pants.
Yes.
You like that?
You
That's
scared the shit
awesome.
out of me.
Thank you.
I love it. Yeah.
It's Stevie Nicks meets Cannibal Corpse.
Oh, I liked it. I like that. I bet you Jim could do something with that too, man. I'm telling you right now.
Oh, yeah. Shoot, yeah. Well, it'd be like, what is it? Zombie Pussies?
Zombie Pussy.
Our hit single, Dead Flow.
Yeah. How did you keep your voice healthy with all that? I mean, I know when I used to scream a lot, you got that low, belting scream. How do you keep it going?
Well, there's something to say about just the voice you're born with. Like I've always had kind of a deep voice for a girl, sort of. And I've been singing for so many years and using my voice for so long that I have kept my vocal cords strong in that sense. But as I've gotten older, it's gotten a little, a little raspier, breaks a little bit easier, all those things that, I have a little less control of it. So to maintain and keep it strong, it's all about, hydration, hydrate, fucking hydrate. Most of us are dehydrated, by the way. Everyone listening, drink more fucking water. Just drink so much water. We're all dehydrated. Anyway, once you really become a hydrated person, so many health issues kind of get better. So I swear by it.
It's lubrication, water for the body.
Let the games begin! Let the games begin! Let the games begin!
That's right, we know what that sound means. It's time for another round of a VO's Padded Improv. Today, Brianna, we have a script for you. Compliments of the YouTube sensation is the Holderness family. So when you're ready, the mic is yours.
It's vaccination day. It's vaccination day. It's vaccination day. It's vaccination day. Appointments are open for all groups of four. I don't have to stay here anymore. I'm sick of eating takeout on these plates. The time indoors has got me stressed, but I just checked on CVS. Finally, they're giving me some dates to see actual real life people. It'll be totally strange. I might even get to go see again.
Touchdown.
For the first time in forever, I'll hang out with someone else. Love you. But for the first time in forever, I won't watch sports by myself. Sports by myself. Sports by myself. I'm done.
God, that was awesome. We can watch sports together.
I'm going to have fun with that one.
Wow.
That's going to be so cool.
Awesome.
That was awesome.
That was my King Diamond
That
impression.
was perfect.
That was wicked cool.
Queen Diamond in the house.
Can I do it again? Just kidding.
Oh.
Can I just do it again?
Hey,
Take two.
we all do take twos here, so what the heck? Why not?
This is the Take Two show.
Apparently, yeah. We almost did a take two of the fucking show.
That was super fun. Well, I don't get to sing often anymore. I mean, I do it to warm up, but I'm not in a band currently, so that was super fun.
Yeah, I loved being in a band. I loved singing. I loved getting on stage. I loved just not looking out into the crowd and just imagining they're not even there and just kind of just doing my thing and telling my stories. And I get where you're coming from there.
I would love to be in a band again someday. Totally.
It's just, it's just having to rely on other people. Mm-hmm. That's the problem.
Yep. And it's just got to be fun. It can't be drama. There can't be.
Right.
If I'm ever in a band again, no drama.
Yeah. I mean, because the bottom line, if we're in our 40s, I don't care if the drummer doesn't keep time perfectly. I don't care if, the saxophone player doesn't play like Kenny G or something. It's just, I just want to go out and have fun.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it's all about. I don't want to
Exactly.
sing Jimmy Buffett tunes, but that's what they do a lot around here.
Really?
But yeah, because I live by the beach, you know. Cheeseburgers in paradise.
I
You
love
it's
that
all that
shit.
kind of stuff.
Okay.
I do
Sure.
too. I do too. But I mean,
But you're singing
I
it.
do like some metal, you
Yeah.
know, from time to time. And that brings me to what I want to talk about, which is the topic of the day.
Mm.
The topic of the day is pretty much, you know, we don't realize, a lot of people don't realize that their voice is an instrument. You have to learn how to use that instrument. You have to put time in behind the mic, whether it's singing or, you know, recording, e-learning or whatever. Was it a difficult transition going from singing to voiceover? And what do you use from your singing background that translates well into voiceover?
Oh, great question. Yeah, I talked about it a little bit with, you know, transition was kind of easy for me, I think. Just from, you know, singing for so long and having an ear for music, the musicality in not only music, but copy. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I really do pay close attention to the musicality of any piece of copy because you can hit bad notes, like singing bad notes in a script.
Right. Well, upspeak.
I mean-
we have upspeak, you know, where you're when you're reading
Yeah.
a script. I mean, you got to know, like when you
Yeah.
break down scripts, you write scripts too. You wrote music, so that really helps.
Sure. So it wasn't so hard to go from that to VO in that sense. I just try to maintain oral hygiene and avoid dairy food.
Oh yeah.
Because like I could eat dairy and sing a
Drink
song,
some milk.
but I can't eat dairy and then try to read a script. I just
You
start
start farting and
burping.
all that. It's like,
You can hear bubbles, and
welcome
it's
to
like, okay,
Allstate. Ugh.
can't have the
Or you get
cheese.
phlegm. You get all this phlegm up in your throat.
You get phlegmy. I get so phlegmy. And also now being a voice actor, like, got to do the vocal warm-ups before I record.
Yep.
And that includes facial exercises.
Mhm.
Like I have to, open
Yeah.
your mouth, stick your tongue out, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's what I
blah,
do
blah,
that
blah.
too. Yeah.
Get a humidifier, breathe it in, or hot tea.
Yeah.
I love lozenges. The ones that are great are these Vocal Zone. These are
Oh, nice.
great.
Where'd you get those at?
I just ordered them online. They were delivered to me in a box, Amazon.
Ooh.
They're great.
Well, Brad, do you use anything like that or?
I just take the honey. I got honey in a container and I squirt it in my mouth.
Because you're a cute little bee.
Bzzz.
And I'd like to take a minute to thank the folks over at Grizzly
Grizzly.
for your
Does that help your
tobacco
voice?
needs that also lube your mouth.
Ooh, I gotta try Grizzly.
I'll drink a 6-pack of beer and I'll
There you go.
record some scripts.
A little vodka.
You'll burp.
Amongst other things.
Was that?
You
Did
know,
I answer your question? Was that it? What, I kind of went. I went all over the place.
Well, yeah, I also wanted to touch on like when you play an instrument and you're in a band and you sing, you learn about tempo changes. You learn about volume control. These are things you can translate well into voiceover. I didn't realize. I mean, I took some classes with Domingo.
Oh, he's great.
Castillo. And he really opened my he's a great guy, positive guy, very informative, taught me a lot because he's a musician.
Exactly.
And, he knows all about these different things. And I didn't, I was always trying to, when I read a script, I'd be like, hey, everybody, I'm going to be loud as hell. But you don't have to be that way. You can be just like
Yeah,
this and you'll be
right.
all right.
Exactly.
I didn't realize a lot of those things until I started doing more sessions with Domingo and others. That your voice is an instrument. Your voice is an instrument.
Right.
You're going to have to use it in practice to get the best out of it.
Yeah.
Even with Charlie Toro, with the breathiness.
Yeah.
With the breathiness.
Like breath
he
control.
talks about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So I was just going to say, with your music background, that has to be something that you picked up quite easily.
Yeah. I think so. I think my main struggle is that I don't have an acting background. I wasn't a drama kid. And
Right.
it's like, I was one of those people. I did the thing. I went, oh, it's just talking.
Oh, you're
I
there.
did that. And then boom, I got punched in the face.
Oh, yeah.
Wink, wink. I got punched in the face by reality going, no, this is way, way, way harder than I thought. Oh my God, I have to study.
Yeah.
I have to take acting classes. Holy shit, this is a whole world. I'm terrified.
I went on the same
Absolutely.
journey right there.
Oh my God. And then just like facing those fears and those creative challenges is just what they are. How to become the character. Who am I talking to? Where, what, why, all those things. It's just learning to have a toolbox and figure out what this copy needs was the hardest thing for me to do. Be an actor. That was it. Really.
I feel you there.
I think you hit the nail on the head when you said fear, because even like when I started, it was fear of, I was more of the, you don't show your feeling, it's like you hide everything.
Yeah.
So now in voice acting, you're called on to show emotions. So early on, I'd be like, yeah, I'm sad. Yeah, I'm sad. Okay.
sad.
Real fucking sad. I'm crying, you see?
Yeah, I have trouble with scripts. Like if it's for like, donate now to this important thing. When I audition for stuff like that and it says something really sad and the specs ask to be really sincere and urgent and,
Right. You're high energy.
suddenly I have to go into a place that I'm very uncomfortable because it's not like a happy script and it's commercial sounding and I get to kind of be like conversational. Suddenly I have to go into this quiet, serious place, and it really does challenge me. It makes me feel, after I'm done with a script like that, I have to like take a minute to step away.
Yeah. It affects you the rest of your day sometimes, or at least the next hour or two of your day.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting, like you said, somewhere dark,
Yeah.
somewhere to pull that emotion from.
Yeah.
When you're an animated person, it's hard to pull back the reins, so to speak.
Yeah.
You can you can hit those animated characters, those video game characters out of the park because a lot of that has to deal with a lot of energy. But yeah, like for me, corporate reads, like all these corporate reads
Yeah.
that's challenging for me
Yeah.
because I have to be well reserved.
Yeah.
I have to, speak
And
with
maintain
confidence.
that. The stamina
Yeah.
you need for a long corporate narration. Ugh.
Yeah.
But I've done it and you got to do it. But
Yeah. You want to, it's always good to discover your niche, but it's also good to wear many hats as well.
yeah.
Because you have opportunities to make more money.
Exactly. That state of mind you just mentioned was something I really worked hard on. Dude, you guys, I've been in VO only like a total of almost 3.5 years, 4 years. I still feel like I don't know what I'm doing all the time, and I'm slowly starting to book more. But what you just said matters to me the most, to be willing to be open,
Yeah.
to not feel like, oh, I can't do this copy because I just can't go into that emotional place. But to like switch my brain is what I've been doing, to click that and to go, no, just think logically and think about what kind of choices I can make and then read the
Right.
script and don't worry about it. Stop overthinking it.
And if somebody comes back with a negative response to what you've provided, you just got to kind of like chalk it up to a learning experience.
Exactly.
You're not going to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
You're not going to get 5 stars on everything you do
Yeah.
if you're on those types of platforms. And you just got to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Because when you work with hundreds of people, you're going to come into that. It's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Brad, when you said, I used to, at the beginning, I used to get pissed off. I used to get mad. Then I started listening to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Instead of getting pissed, let me listen to him. And I did. And that was one of the greatest, a few years back.
Revelations.
Right. Hey, wait a minute. Not everything's about ass kicking and, in this. It's about, listening to those that have gone that way and are doing it or successful.
Yeah. You always want to put people that are smarter than you around you.
Yeah.
Because if you got everybody that underneath you, man, you might have an issue.
You got nowhere to grow.
There's always going to be somebody smarter. Just like in the fight game, there's always going to be somebody that will kick your ass.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're the champion for a while or not. Somebody's going to beat your ass.
And it's like, why? I mean, I'd say I used to struggle a lot more with like the competitiveness of life,
Oh, yeah.
comparing myself to other people, comparing myself to other women, comparing myself to other singers. Or during all of my like teens and 20s, a lot of that was just causing so much fear and anxiety in me. And what I love about voiceover and the voiceover community is that I'll be scrolling through Instagram and following all these VO people, and every once in a while I'll see like someone post an affirmation,
Mm-hmm.
all this wonderful stuff about don't compete with each other. And when someone else wins, feel good about that for them.
Yeah. They have no effect on your career.
Yeah. It makes me feel relaxed as I go throughout my day. Like I'm in competition with no one.
No,
I get
yourself.
to be just me. Yeah. And learn from others.
Right. In the fire business, they told you never to have tunnel vision. And I think in some aspect of voiceover, it's okay to have tunnel vision. It's okay to surf the web and surf social media, but if it's having a negative effect on you and you're becoming a negative, hateful individual, you need to separate yourself from that and get back on track.
Yeah.
Because I came from a place too where there was a lot of negativity, and there would be I'd be jealous, but
Yeah.
throughout this journey in voiceover, I've learned to be grateful, to appreciate others, to
Yeah.
learn from others, and like you said, don't worry about other people. Congratulate them when they do well, because you're going to get there too. It
Yeah.
just persistence
Yeah.
and hard work.
Say you're new to VO and you're listening to the show, you want to find out more about VO. I swear by this, don't approach this with desperation. Don't
No.
need this to pay your bills or solve your financial
Nope.
problems. Don't do that. Clients will hear it in your read.
Yeah.
You have to let go of needing this to like fill a void or fix your life, because it won't work. It just won't work that way. Just do your best having fun trying VO. And if you need it to like pay some bills, just do your best to audition when you can. And when you book something, great. And don't give up.
Yeah.
Just keep doing it because it's
if you
fun.
gotta have I have 3 side hustles. So, I mean,
Nice.
you got to do like Brent Allen Hagel would say. He's like, I'm not feeling bad for anybody.
Mhm.
I used to wash dishes,
Yeah.
So it's
I've worked in customer service my whole life until like a couple years ago.
right. You got to do what you got to do to make your dreams come true. It's not like Mickey Mouse, wish upon a star and it magically appears. You got to put the work in.
I'm a crane operator.
Right.
Yeah.
Diesel mechanic and a crane operator.
Yeah.
You got to do what you got to
gotta
do.
do what you
And
gotta
that's how you
do.
punch every day in the
But
face.
don't give up. Punch every day in the face. Don't give up.
Yeah, if you spend an hour, it doesn't matter if you spend an hour or 20 hours working that day, just spend some time every day doing it.
Yeah.
And just like Corey Disson always says too, if you do something every day, it becomes a habit.
Yeah.
And you just get into the flow of those habits.
Mhm.
And all these people I've mentioned today, including talking to you today, I'll learn something new from. And that's what makes voiceover great. And yeah, like you
Actually,
said.
I'm gonna plug Corey Disson there. If any of y'all listening, if y'all are free Monday mornings at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, he does every Monday his live YouTube, LinkedIn, stuff like that show on the motivation and what it takes to succeed.
How do I find time to study? Well, there's books available. There's shows like you just mentioned, Jim. Like there's Zoom classes, which is like the shit. Like take some Zoom classes when you get off work. You can find voiceover Zoom classes that can totally accommodate your schedule. Like you can find it and just stay active and absorb the information.
That's great too. And it's about sacrifice. How bad do you want to do something? It doesn't matter if it's this, but you got to sacrifice some of the things that you used to like to do for fun that would kill time, that didn't really amount to anything. Well, you're going to have to say goodbye to those things for a while, but it's okay because your addiction for what you do, like in voiceover, my addiction for voiceover, I want to do that more than anything else outside of hang out with my daughter and my wife. So that needs to be, it's a whole process. You got to give it time to work itself out. You can't, that's why like everybody says, and I know it's cliche and I know everybody is like, oh, I've heard this before, but you can't quit anything you do, whether it's playing guitar, wanting to be a pro wrestler in a band, you got to keep doing it so you can see the progression. When you're playing a video game, you start at level 0. If you work hard enough, you get to level 20. You get all the cards. You become a super powered, character. So you just got to put the time in. It's just simple as that.
Like that perfect analogy is, if you plant a seed in the soil, don't expect whatever it is to be fully grown and ripe, sticking out of the ground the next day.
Yeah.
You have to water it every day, let it get some sunshine, and wait, and then one day it's there.
Yeah, well, that's a beautiful way to end our show. I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Goes fast.
Do you want to make a shout out to anybody in particular? You want to promote your social media or your website? Go for it.
Sure. Shout out to Real Voice LA, the owner Mike DeLay, a couple of my favorite teachers, Craig Lee Thomas, Brent Allen Hagel, of course. And my social media, you can find me on Instagram. My handle is BW_voice, or you can just look up my name, Brianna Wanlass. Also on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Clubhouse. And I have a website, bwvoice.com.
Sweet. Jim?
Yeah, absolutely. Find me. My website's at bigjimmedia.com. Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter at Big Jim Media. And also the Padded Room Podcast is a great place for new VOs to listen, and shameless plug. Anyway, how about you, Brad?
You can check me out on my website, bradstormvo.com. On Instagram, Twitter, bradstormvo. On LinkedIn, bradstormlanew. And on Facebook, Bradstorm Voiceover. And like Jim said, you can check out the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Captivate, Ghana. And you can also check it out on YouTube. Subscribe, share with the world, and try to spread the love, because we work hard on these shows and we want to just have everybody enjoy them. What do you got to say about that, Jim?
And when the day gets long and shit gets real, you gotta
punch every day in the face. Yeah. Woo! All right. That was sweet.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's show.